Alrighty, welcome please to the show from the brand new web series, Classic Alice, Kate Hackett and Josh Compton.
Hi.
Hello.
Right, whoops.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah! It's our crowd. It's our studio audience. They took a little warming up.
They weren't sure yet.
Yeah.
They were like,
They're like, maybe.
I guess.
How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show.
you for having us. We're very excited.
So
to be
diving
here.
right in, tell us what Classic Alice is all about.
Sure. So Classic Alice is the story of a girl who gets a bad grade on a test, and she chooses to live her life according to classic novels.
Such as?
Well, the first one we're doing is Crime and Punishment.
Okay.
So that's nice
Is
light.
the crime that she got a bad grade and she's going to punish the teacher?
The crime that she picks, I'm going to make sure I'm close enough. The crime that she picks is she's stealing a test. So it's a real
She's
a real
stealing
crime.
a test
She
to like get
steals
the copy of the
exam,
answers?
Right. Not the
Oh.
answer. She steals like the actual test
Right.
so that everybody can look at it.
Oh.
So it's a real crime.
Wow.
And you know, it's obviously not Crime and Punishment starts with a murder very
Right.
quickly.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not that grave, but you know, still a pretty big deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where did the inspiration come from to take famous literature references and put them in the current modern world with vlogging?
So I was in talks with a group of people who had kind of YouTube backing and this idea to do a channel directed to young adult readers.
Okay.
And what they were looking for was stuff like hosting and I'm an actor, so I wanted to make sure that it was something creative like that.
Mm-hmm.
I looked for a way to bridge that gap, and it was, you know, what if it's a vlog of these novels, and then maybe people will read along and kind of get involved that way.
Okay.
So that's how I pitched it to them, and they said, yes, we love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of a nice feeling.
Wow. So they give you money?
No.
No, of course, okay. Of course not. It's the internet. No one gives anyone money. Okay.
No. What actually wound up happening was they parted ways, and so I was left with this idea, and I was like, I'll
Gotcha.
just write it and do it on my own. So I
Cool.
wound up writing a 6-episode arc for the first book, and then I, you know, wanted to just make it. I was like, it's out there, it's done. So I asked Josh to come help me.
And how did you guys first get involved working together?
We shot something with you.
That was the first time. We shot a sketch together that was a breakup scene between two lovers.
He dumped me.
I dumped her, and then she gave me her...
I gave him a concession speech.
concession
so
speech.
it was like, you know, a political speech.
Uh-huh.
And Josh directed it, and we did it in this rainy garage.
A parking lot. Parking garage.
Which is where you
Yeah.
should always break up
Super
with
classic.
girls.
Yes. That's where I go to break up with all my women.
I mean, I understand.
So what kind of brought you guys back together to work on Classic
He
Alice?
is so
why'd you call
easy
me?
because you are so easygoing, and I am such a stress bucket. So I thought it would be kind of a nice,
Okay.
you know. So he's like super easy to work with, and just he also brings out performance. Like he'll suggest something to you as a director, and you'll do it, and you'll think that you thought of it, and you absolutely did not. Like it was
Wow.
completely his direction, but you feel like, I'm such a good actor.
So Josh, as if Kate wasn't in the room, what does she like to work with on set?
It's like if you're working with sort of a Tyrannosaurus,
Okay.
but with the energy of an angry chicken.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Wow.
No, but she's delightful and fun, and you're easy to work with too. I mean, but I think for this project, like Kate wrote it, it's very much geared toward her strengths. Same thing
Right.
for the other short that we did. So
it's
really just about
nerdy.
It's really about just trusting her.
Very cool.
So
Now
that
you guys
do
are
what she
starting
does.
with Crime and Punishment. What is each of your favorite, like, ultimate literary, like, what's your favorite book of all time?
Do you want to go
Ooh.
first?
Like, classic book.
Classic book. I haven't read enough classic books. I had the short.
You're losing your street cred, Josh. Come on.
I had the illustrated version of Three Musketeers that I read like a billion times as a kid. Yes.
Okay.
Lolita, which we're not going to do.
Saucy.
No, I loved it. Nabokov writes this beautiful prose without ever, like, you know what's happening, but he doesn't say a word. And I think that's fantastic. It's you know, a very arty answer, sorry. But
No.
But that's by far I think he's just one of those writers that I wish I could write like, and I can't.
Bob, do you have a favorite classical text of any kind?
Where the Red Fern Grows, does that count?
Sure, we'll take it.
Oh,
Is that one of your
I
favorite
cried
books?
so much.
I mean, as far as like, like the classic, I mean, I'm not good with the stuff like, I don't know, Siddhartha and all of that stuff. Like the Grapes of Wrath. No, thank you. Even the Great Gatsby. And that's none of that. I know. I just never got, because I didn't read much as a child. We've talked about this.
Right.
I didn't read and I didn't like reading then. And then when I finally did learn to read, or not learn to read, but learn to love reading, the books that I gravitate towards end up being sort of like much more modern or fiction books that I can actually relate to mentally.
I actually read Steinbeck. I read The Pearl in 3rd grade. And I don't know if you guys have read that. Baby dies. And I couldn't handle it. I could not deal with it. I was just in tears. And I was like, I'm never reading Steinbeck again. And I didn't until like well out of college. I was like the year or two out of college. And I picked up Grapes of Wrath. And I was like, all right, he's fun. I was very begrudging about it.
I remember reading The Diary of Anne Frank when I was little and crying. Like it was so hard to read. And that's like, and I get it on one hand that it's like, it's mandatory reading, when you're young. But there's also a part of it where it's like maybe a little too young. Like I feel like I was in like 4th grade reading The Diary of Anne Frank. And I feel like it was maybe just a little bit too early.
But you know what? You've really learned the lesson not to commit genocide now.
That's true.
That's really
true.
gonna stick with you.
Bob, you've never
This
committed
is true.
genocide, so
This
it really
is
did its
true.
purpose.
Maybe that's the case. But I remember always thinking about potatoes, because like there's a whole thing about like, they would get like one potato for the week, and that was like their whole meal, and they would like soak it in water and like drink the flavor. I mean, it was like awful. Like I don't know. That's not stuff I should read. Well, is that one of the books you'll be doing? The Diary of Anne Frank?
No, God,
You're going to hide in an attic for the entire episode? Now, does each episode you're following a different literary... Okay.
so right now we just have the 6 for right now.
Right. So what 6 do you cover? Is it
For-
all
or
Crime
the-
and Punishment?
Yeah, the first 6 episodes are crime because it takes about. We're also
So
trying
each
to
season is a book.
right.
Exactly.
We're also trying to schedule it so that you can read along. So if the
Gotcha.
book is this thick, it's going to take a little bit longer. If the book is like this, we can do it.
So you must
quickly.
read Crime and Punishment in 6 weeks.
Do it.
Wow.
We can also do like a short story. Like I would love to do kind of a Rip Van Winkle-y one maybe, and that won't take as long. That'll take maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
Right.
So they might vary a little bit.
Now, what is it about this vlog style? Because you both have produced a lot of your own work, a lot of narrative scripted stuff, which is awesome. But this, to my understanding, is your first vlog style show. What attracted you? For those that don't know, the vloggers are the people who just kind of talk directly to camera, usually through their webcam. It's very personality driven. And it goes from everything like beauty tips to like, hey, this is what I ate today. And there's a variety of different
You can vlog
successful
about what you ate today.
YouTubers. So
That's what
what
most
attracted
people
you
do.
to the vlog style?
Well, it was definitely not where I wrote, because I wrote a first draft of the first episode of the pilot. Oh, sorry, hi. And
Assaulting the microphone.
so sorry. So I wrote that first draft, and it was mockumentary. So it was more like an Abed in Community type.
Love him.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I actually had a character that was like, that's who Andrew was supposed to be in the first, like this very geeky, like out of his world kind of thing. But I gave it to the people that I was working with, and they were like, this is really funny, but it costs more to shoot that way. And so they wanted to look at it as a vlog, and I was like, all right, fine. So I sent them another copy, like with those revisions, and they said, yeah, we love it. And then after they pulled out, I thought, oh, do I keep writing it mockumentary? Do I just do a vlog? And it just kind of boiled down to like money. It's so much cheaper. It's so much easier to just have one setup and go talk.
Right.
So that's why we started it that way. I mean, if we can blow the world out and do more of a mockumentary type environment, that would be super cool. But it's
Awesome.
just a little bit easier on everybody.
But it also like allowed us to do an entire 6 episodes in the span of 2 days.
right.
So
We shot 33
Right.
got
pages.
the whole thing done in a
Wow.
Yeah.
weekend.
Wow. Now, there is so much content out there right now, especially
Yeah.
on sites like YouTube, and there's so many different shows, so many different style shows. What is it for you as both as content creators, that you think is A, exciting about the space, and that you think B, Classic Alice brings something new? Like, I love this idea of interacting with readers and having people be able to read along with Alice the character. But what else is there that really you think this is something different in the space?
I think it's something different because it's not quite.
It's all right.
It's not.
It won't hit back.
It's kind of
The microphone will take
intimidating
whatever
looking.
abuse
It's a
you
little
give it.
netting and no. So I think it's unique because it's not entirely they're not always aware that the camera's on necessarily. So you see some real interactions, some real reactions between them that maybe you wouldn't see. And we're talking about in the next couple of episodes. We just released one today, so I don't want to like spoil anything
Absolutely.
where they're going. But you see them interact without acknowledging the camera somewhat.
Okay.
So I think that's a little bit different. And I think just the idea of she knows, she's reading these books along with you, and she knows at some point like where they're going. And so it's not like she is a literary adaptation of a book, which has definitely been done, but she is creating her own literary adaptation kind of.
All right.
And seeing what that does to the people around her is also very interesting.
Very cool.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
Perfect. Sounds good.
I agree with everything.
Excellent. Well, where can guys where can people check out the show and follow it along and learn more about it?
So you can check it out at classic-alice.com or youtube.com/classicaliceseries. So that's where you can.
And what number episode came out today?
4.
Episode 4, so a lot to
6.
catch up on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hurry up.
That's perfect.
Cool.
And we just retweeted it on our official Twitter
Oh,
page.
thank
So
you.
if you guys
Aw.
go to the Bob Show on Twitter, we just retweeted it, where you guys can
Alright,
also
cool.
follow you guys on the Classic Alice is your Twitter
Awesome.
handle.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
So-
And I'm a little thank you note.
Oh, we have thank you
Oh my
notes.
God.
Speaking of
Presents.
classical and
Such-
handwritten, and look how lovely this is.
That one
Such-
doesn't have an envelope, and I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It has a very decorative H
Just because
for Hackett,
yeah.
I imagine. Yeah.
You guys are with such well-mannered
I know,
guests.
look at this.
Do you know, and all the
I feel like I should have invited you over for some tea.
I
Oh,
will,
yes.
I
Oh,
will
I got
tell
you.
some
you,
lemonade.
of all of the guests, so we've done 200 and I don't know something shows in the last year. Only one other guest ever sent a thank you note.
Really?
It was Mara Marini from Parks and Recreation.
Oh.
She
I
sent.
loved Mara.
Yeah,
she's
she,
a class act.
She sent a thank you card, so now you're in her company.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Well, Josh too.
Check it out, classic-alice.com. Thank you so much,
Thank-
Kate Hackett
thank
and
you,
Josh
guys.
Compton, for
Thank
coming
you,
on the
guys.
show.
And we'll be back in just a moment. We've got Jeanette Barber and Google Pete calling in, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.